What's up, everyone? Hi, thank you for clicking on this video, and this is a video that is very overdue because what I'm about to talk about happened in January and February, but like life has been crazy as usual, and this is just like hard to talk about coherently. So I'm just gonna say a timeline and kind of go from there. Okay, so my four pets that I had before the end of last year, 2022, was I had a tabby cat. Oh, by the way, if you hear this squeaking, I got two new guinea pigs, so I'll talk about that, but they're like chasing each other around. Okay. Oh, I had two cats. So I had a tabby cat named Marky Mark that was my first cat ever. And then I had his friend Lady Gaga, which I'd been calling her Miss Lady, and she's like tabby with orange and white. Um, and I also had two guinea pigs, and they were brothers, and they were the first two guinea pigs I had after I like moved out of my parents' house. And their names were Chai and Latte, and they're like orange and white, and I have like a lot of videos on my channel with them. So those were the four pets that I had, and they were all like original pets to me. Like Marky was my first cat, and then the Chai and Latte were my first like adult guinea pigs, like me being an adult on my own guinea pigs. Okay, so on New Year's Eve, somebody must have let Marky out because before we went to bed, I was like, we need to look and make sure both cats are here because there's been a lot of noise and stuff today with fireworks. And sometimes I would do this anyway. If I hadn't seen both cats during the day before I went to sleep, I would make sure, like, oh, they're both in the house. And so I looked, and Marky was not in the house. So then I had my ex look too. I was like, have you seen Marky? And then I had the roommates look too, and it was like, he's not there. And so we went outside and looked, but obviously it's dark. It's like New Year's Eve, and it was like 2 in the morning. And I'm like, we're just gonna have to look tomorrow when it's light outside because we can't see anything. And then I did get a call the next day from the shelter, and I guess someone had brought him in to scan him, but unfortunately, they called my old phone number. So the timing of this is all so garbage. What happened was a couple weeks into December, I finally decided I'm going to be an adult and get off my parents' phone plan. So I got my own phone, which means I got a new phone number. So when that happened, I ordered new collars for the cats that have the new phone number on them. So for the like 2 weeks in between the new phone number and the collars getting here, they have collars on with the old phone number that's not working anymore. And he ran away with that collar on. And so the person who brought him to the shelter did try to contact me, but they couldn't because it was the wrong phone number. And so, due to it being New Year's that day and all the animals that get out on New Year's Eve and are scared of fireworks, the shelter didn't have capacity that day to hold Marky. So they had to tell the person to just either hold him in their house or let him back out where he was found. And with cats, they generally tell you to let it back out where you found it because a lot of times the cats can find their way back home. So it was like the phone thing was really bad timing, and then it had to be on like New Year's Eve, like the day when all the dogs get out and like get scared, so the shelter was full. Like those two things both had to happen, and so I didn't get him back. We were so close though. And like I even went to the shelter because they emailed me too. Like when his chip was scanned, the chip company emails you like, "Oh, your pet was found," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then it says where it was scanned. So I go in, and I'm like, "Oh, you scanned my cat. Where is he?" And they were like, "We don't know. He left." And I was like, "What?" And then I'm like, "Did you get the information from the people that like brought him in?" And they were like, "No, they didn't want to give it to us." And man, I was so mad. I was like, "How could you let this happen?" But anyway, it happened. Um, and so me and my ex were doing so much for this cat. Like, we would go around the neighborhood like so many times every day looking for him, like surrounding neighborhoods too. I made flyers, I taped them up like everywhere within a 2 mile radius, and like I posted on every single Facebook group for missing pets in our area. Like, I did everything possible and then some. And I was outside so much and losing so much sleep, and this was like obviously in winter because it was New Year's when it happened. I was like getting sick over and over, and I would have to like call out work, but then as soon as I felt better, I would go outside again because I'm like, we are losing time. Like, every day that goes by that we don't find him, he might be getting further away. And so finally, somebody on the Facebook group sent like a door cam video of the cat to me, and I knew it was him. He was wearing the same color collar, and I could just tell by like his posture and the way he walked, and like he's like a generic tabby cat, but you know, you can just tell that it's your cat by like their little mannerisms. And I was like, oh my god, that's him. And the guy was like, yeah, he comes by a couple times a week. So I decided after work, because the time that he would go by that guy's house and like eat food and stuff that the guy left out, it would be like between midnight and 4 a.m., which is perfect because I got off work around like midnight or 1. So every day after work, I would just go and park my car right by that guy's house, and I would literally sit in my car and stare at the sidewalk for 3 hours every night in the freezing cold, trying to wait and see if I would see my cat walk by. And I did this for like almost a month, and I never saw the cat walk by. I saw other cats though. But like, oh my god, and I got so sick doing this like so many times. And it was sad. And then at one point I bought a like small animal trap, and like I asked him if I could put it out there, but then his HOA complained the next day and was like, you can't put a trap here. And like, I actually talked to a different neighbor that wasn't in that HOA, and they let me put it on their lawn, and like I trapped a different cat and had to let it go, but I didn't ever get mine. And I did the most, okay? Oh my god, and then the HOA person, so the flyers that I put around my neighborhood, like, I put one on the mailbox because we are in, like, townhouses, and the mailbox is, like, the ones that have the little doors, and there's, like, a bunch of mailboxes all in one spot, so I was like, if I put it on the side of these mailboxes, literally everyone will see it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then when I would drive home, I would notice that it would be missing like every other day. So I would go put up a new one, and I'm like, now I think the cat is stolen, and whoever stole him is taking down the flyer to try to be like, no, you can't have your cat back. Like, stop trying. So I made the wording on the flyers more and more aggressive. Like, at the end, I was like, all caps, stolen, missing cat. Get your own cat, bro. I'll give you $500. You can buy your own. Give me mine back, or something like that. And then I was like, we need to figure out who was taking the posters down. So we were like trying to narrow down the time. Like, it was me, my ex, and my roommate. We were all paying attention to like when we noticed they were up or down, and like narrowing down the time, but like we couldn't narrow it down. It was very random. So I decided the mailboxes in my neighborhood, if you sit in the fitness area, you can like see out the fitness area window to that spot on the mailbox through the trees, but they can't really see you sitting in the fitness area being creepy. So again, with the camping out strategy, I would camp out in that fitness area for 6 hours. Like, I would do 3 hours in the morning, and then when the mail truck came, I'm like, nobody has the audacity to pull this thing down while the mail person's there, right? So I would be like, oh, mail person's here, time to go eat and stuff. And then I would come back for another 3 hours and then go to work after that. And finally, I caught who was doing it, and it was this old lady. And I was like, what? So this old lady goes up, and she's looking grumpy, and she's like pulling it down. So I like run out of the fitness area up to her, and I'm like, why are you taking these posters down? Oh my God. And she just was like, and she's like, I'm with the HOA. These make the neighborhood look bad. It's tacky. And I'm like, lady, I'm looking for my cat. I don't care if it's tacky. And she was like, well, I've seen these up for a while. It's been like over a month, right? And I'm like, yeah, but like he's still missing, and I'm still trying to find him. And she's like, well, you've done everything you can, and obviously you're not going to find him, so these look tacky and you need to take them down. And I was like, I started crying. I was like, how could you be so heartless? I'm just trying to find my cat. I'm not damaging any property. It's literally a piece of paper and a sheet protector taped on the side of a mailbox. Like, it's not that tacky. And, like, man, we really got into it. And then one of the neighbors walked by, and she was like, I'll look for your cat. And I was like, thank you. And I was, like, so mad and crying. And so then just had to go home, and I was like, well, that lady, like those people that are on the HOA, it's like these old people that, like, clearly they don't have a job, and it's like the only responsibility or like important thing they have to do. And so I'm like, this is literally her full-time job in her head now, is to make sure that this poster doesn't get to stay up. And I was like, okay, this war with the HOA is, I need to put my energy somewhere else where I can actually find a cat. And I don't know, after that, I would like go on those walks still and camp out once in a while at that place. But then the guy that saw him on the door cam was saying that he was coming by less frequently. And then, like, one of my coworkers saw him on her balcony one evening, and she was like, oh, I remember you said something about a missing cat. Actually, I had one come up to my balcony door and, like, scare my cat the other day. And I was like, what did it look like? And she described it with the right color collar, and I was like, oh my god. So then I gave her the trap. She actually still has that trap. Who knows? Like, maybe I should text her. But she never got him. And then a couple times on my way home from work, I even saw him in this crosswalk that's like maybe half a mile from my house on my way home. And so I'd pull over and get out of the car and be like, Marky. And he would like look at me, and it would like click in his head that he knew it was me. And then he would think about it, and he would like run into the forest. So I guess he doesn't want to come home. But for some context with that, the roommates that I had at the time, it was a couple, and they had a baby. The baby was like a year old, and this baby loved to scream, not because it was upset, but just because that's how this baby expressed every single emotion, especially happiness. Like, when this baby was happy, he would be screaming his head off, which was, like, I thought it was funny, but the cat hated it. Like, the cat basically lived in my bedroom exclusively the entire time that those roommates were there, and so that's the last thing he remembered. And he was probably like, well, if I let you catch me, that's gonna happen again. So I saw him 2 times like that on the way home, and those were the last 2 times I've seen him, and no one else has seen him since then either. And now it's October, so it has been, that's like 10 months now since he ran away. I have a feeling he's still doing good and he's out there somewhere. He might actually, somebody might have taken him in and have him as their pet now. But one of the things that I did after he got out, like within a month, was I made a list of all the vets that see cats within like a 10-mile radius of me. And I am not kidding. I literally called like 100 vet clinics, and I gave them the description and the date that he left and like my information and blah, blah, blah. And he is microchipped, so he has a chip with home again. And I made sure to update my phone number with that chip, so his collar still has my old phone number, unfortunately, but at least the microchip has the right one. But I let all the vet areas know. I was like, hey, my cat's missing, so if someone comes in with a tabby cat, like, do you guys scan all your new patients? And a lot of clinics do scan for microchips on all new patients, regardless of if the person says they have a chip or not. And so I paid the $20 for the membership for this microchip for a year, and with that you can mark your pet as missing, so if anybody scans the chip, it automatically shows up on their computer, this pet is missing or stolen, and then they call the number that's on file. So even if the person that brought the cat in is like, oh no, he's mine, it's okay, they're still going to be like, this is weird, we have to call this person, and then I'm going to be like, that's definitely not theirs. That's mine. So in a weird way, if he is with somebody, I'm kind of hoping he like gets sick, so he has to go to the vet so I can get him back. Like, not tragically sick, but I feel like a lot of people don't even take their animals to the vet unless they are sick. Animals are supposed to have checkups like humans do, but people don't be doing that. Okay, this is a really long video already, so that's the story about the missing cat. I think I'm going to split this update into 2 because I have a guinea pig update. So I'm about to do that video right now. But yeah, that's what's up with the cat. Oh, and then so the cat went missing on New Year's Eve, right? And then My other cat, Miss Lady, is still here, and she's young, and she has a lot of energy, and she's kind of sassy. So after a couple months, I was like, okay, now she's started to like destroy things around the house because she's bored and upset that she doesn't have a friend. So I got her a new friend. So I have a black cat now, and his name is Vega, and he's pretty cool. He was like feral before the rescue got him. So I got him, I think, in February or March, and he lets me pet him now if he's laying on the bed and I wake up. But if we're just around the house and I go up to him, he usually doesn't let me pet him. But he will let me boop his nose. So it's very slow progress with him, but I can tell that he likes me because he'll like slow blink at me and stuff. So like it's okay. It's just really slow because he's like shy, but yeah, he's really nice. He's very talkative, just like Marky was. I think that's a boy cat thing. He's always like, "Meow, meow," like for no reason. And him and Miss Lady get along great. They'll be snuggling and they're playing all the time. So it was a good fit. I'm glad we got him. Anyway, yeah, that was my part one of my pet update. That was the cat one, and now I'm gonna do the guinea pig one. So thanks for watching.